just got Audrey here. Come on. Hello and welcome to a non-live version of Heather and Hops once more. My name is Kat and I am, or Catherine I guess, and I'm coming to you from Hertfordshire, which is in England. We're just outside the M25, which is the scariest road in the world to drive on. Are you coming up? No, oh she's going to play again. What do you want? Do you want a pom-pom? Come on. This is my little space on the internet where I talk about the things I've been making and kind of what I've been learning too. I started this journey of talking to a camera when I very first started knitting back in September, and yeah, I've got quite a few things to show you. I'm not wearing anything that I've knitted today. It's actually quite warm, I'm not sure. It really feels like spring's definitely sprung. I do have my grain shawl here, just sitting behind me. I've been nuzzling up to that while I've been doing a little bit of finishing on some of the projects that I'd like to show you. And I have once again got a coffee. I've been favouring it quite a bit recently, just one a day, but I've been awake for about 7 hours already and I've done quite a bit, so I feel like I've earned to just sit down with a cup of coffee. Hey? And this again is one of the mugs that I made. It's questionable. I do think the handle's very good, it's very smooth, but it was a pinch pot cup that I glazed and then half glazed again. So we'll start with finished objects, I guess. I'll show you the first one, which has been going on for quite a while, and that is my FICHU BLEU. I come a bit closer. This is the right way. This was the last of my Amethyst by Spectrum Fibre on her sock base and her mohair. It's got a lovely halo. I haven't blocked it properly. I gave it a gentle steam so the ends not very pulled apart, but I really have got a lot of wear out of this already. I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like I've spoken a lot about it. I love this project. I love the pattern. I thought it's a lovely pattern for free, and it's got enough detail in it to keep it entertaining while not being too overbearing to wear. I can wear it with a lot of the items that I own. And as you can see, it is quite small. Definitely probably half the size of the pattern, I'd say. And that's mostly due to only having like 2/3 of a skein left. My own fault. And I was playing a bit of yarn chicken and I was a bit wussing out, so I stopped. And actually it's been really useful so far. There's been a few days where it's not been cold enough to really wrap up, but this alongside a big cardigan has been enough to keep me quite snug, and it comes snugly right up close and can also be worn as a little shoulder, which is quite nice over the shoulders. So overall I'm very pleased and would definitely recommend this pattern. As I said before, this has got a little bit of a special meaning to me that's maybe different from what other people might consider a special meaning, in that this was the item where I finally learnt how to purl properly. I was talking, I think last episode, about how I figured out that all of the pearls that I'd done up until this point were twisted. So when I was working on, there's a Susan Summer pattern called Melted Shrug, which is mostly brioche, so I was doing twisted brioche, which no wonder it took me a few attempts to get it right. So this is a little bit special. It's like, it's got a little bit of a a steep learning curve in it, I guess. So I just pop that one to the side. Yeah, the next one, maybe I'll pop in some footage of the sort of secret test, it wasn't a test knit, a sample knit that I did. So it took me 6 days, and I guess I will let past Cat and future past Cat talk about that. So yeah, I will see you in a moment. So this is me probably from the past, travelling to the future. Still have my coffee from that episode. I just wanted to share with you quickly the project that I've been working on since Friday. I am working on a sample for King FIBRE, which is where I work. So this is a work project, but also it's been quite fun and I have done it in my own time as well. This is his new Majestic Mountain pattern, which I believe he's releasing for EYF, which has either been or is still to come. I'm not sure when I will be able to share this. And I will show you my progress. I'm a naughty woman, and I've got a ball of yarn still working from this. Quite a feat, I think. So I started this Friday, it's now Wednesday. There's a lot of material in this. It feels fantastic. Baby melted suri held with merino singles. This is an undyed one. This is a DK weight honeycomb. There's a little bit of green that you can see, really dark green in here. Is caviar, the pink is saracen, and the blue is smoke. So the top is undyed, held, so it's undyed suri held with the smoke colourway, and this is just a ribbing. The body is worked holding smoke suri as well as a silk singles, and it's a broken rib, and this is the undyed with saracen. Really fun project to work on. Just because I'm honest, I am not into this at all, but it was a really fun technique to learn. So it's welts, so across the shoulder you've got these shoulder pads. Not really sure what else to say other than it's definitely not finished. A really fun pattern to actually work on. There's modifications that I would make for me personally, but if you are into being brave, definitely recommend this pattern. Even if you're a new knitter, this is still well written enough, easy enough to follow, and it is actually a very simple pattern. It just looks very intricate. I did the smallest size, so there's a little bit less colour work. Yeah, a lot of knitting, a lot of love, a lot of energy has gone into this one so far, and I actually can't wait to see it finished. Just because I can't wait to have someone wear it. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing with this. I'm sure me in the future will know, whether it's just for sample for photographs or if it's being sent off to EYF. Do I seem to be doing just a lot of sort of light blue at the moment? Maybe I'm drawn to this now. Yeah, that is Stephen West, Majestic Mountain, King FIBRE yarns. A lot of knitting. I think I spent all day Saturday and Sunday doing it, which are not my work days. Yeah. There you go. Back to you, Cat, in the future. I've just been outside and it's raining and it's a bit windy, so I'm a little bit all over the shop. I am Cat from the future in the future. So I got up quite early this morning and I finished off the sample knit that I've been working on, like the clappers, and it is the Stephen West Mountain Majestic mountain pattern. But I think I've already mentioned it, so I won't go through the colours again. And we have 2 sleeves and quite a bit of ribbing. The bottom ribbing is hemmed. I have ends to weave in still. It is folded, it's a folded hem, which is really, really nice. In the Suri it feels particularly amazing. It's not really blocked, I might give it a gentle steam, but I think the material is so drapey and lovely as it is, while being quite robust, that I'm just going to leave it. But I thought I would share quite a feat. I have finished, I guess, 900 metres, I'll figure it out maybe and write it in. But I finished this, I started Friday, it is now Thursday. Whoa. I am now going to go and have myself a coffee and maybe cast on a test knit, which I'm sure other future cat, I'm past cat, other future cat will discuss. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Yeah, what did you think? Do let me know, like, if you have any thoughts or improvements on anything or tips and tricks. I'm quite interested to know anything really. I'm definitely in a bit of a learning mood. I've got a learning mojo at the moment. I'm slowing down with what I'm knitting to try and be a bit more careful, and that actually might lead me on to this next one. And so I've been doing a test knit, which as soon as I finished that sample that you've just seen, the Majestic Mountain pattern by Stephen West, I cast on for the Lydia Tank version 2 by Ivy and Autumn, and it's a beautiful pattern, the original one, if you have a look at it. And if you actually look on Instagram, I think her tag is at Ivy and Autumn. I'll try and pop a link and everything. Some of the ones that are coming out are beautiful, and I think I'm gonna make another one. But when I agreed to do the test knit, and I asked if she would prefer if I knitted in the round or flat, and I think that might have been foolish because there's a lot more advanced knitters that got to knit in the round, and I was working backwards and forwards, and it was the first time I've done real lace work. I'd done a little bit on a shawl for my mother-in-law to be, but yeah, so this was a learning curve. Also, it had a tubular cast on, and I'll show you quickly. So this was I just wanted to show my words. So I wanted to show you quite how different knitting in different situations and different moods is to me. So I cast this on, I've kept it on the stitch holder so it's not that neat. While I was rather, I guess, not agitated, but not really paying attention. And so I started again, which I guess up until this year I might not have done. Maybe a couple of years ago I might not have done. I'm getting better, and I've definitely changed as a person over the last few years. But I actually simply saw it and I thought I will remember this and share it with you just to show you the difference. And then I cast on once more, and I've actually finished this project, but I try and take some pictures to make it a bit more obvious. Let's try and get a better hold on that. I don't know if you can really tell, but the edging is so much better because I simply sat, there you go, I sat at home, relaxed, with a cup of tea and cast on, as opposed to flailing around, desperately trying to get it cast on. So from here on in I'm going to be even more so, if I can be, a conscious person. And I truly loved knitting this. There was so much support in the Test Knits group. I mean, I think I asked a few questions and I think a lot of people steamed ahead because they were knitting in the round and I had other projects to do. So as things were coming up, which weren't important things particularly to me. They were already fixed by the time I got there, so that was quite a blessing, I guess. And here it is. This is my Lydia. I think she's absolutely beautiful. She is knitted, I'm referring to her as if she has a gender, outrageous. But she's knitted up in a slightly one-of-a-kind colourway. It's a version of Honeycomb by King Fibre and in merino singles. It has this beautiful drape. I haven't blocked it that vigorously yet. I did a light blocking and I'm going to try and give it another proper one. But to be honest, I was a bit nervous. I'm not sure how vigorous you really can be with lace, so I thought I'll open it up a bit slowly. So if anyone's got any tips on that, that would be very, very gratefully received. Oh, no, we've got a little... You're quite comfortable there. Highly distractible. Distractible? Yeah, that's a word. So overall, I think this is a lovely, lovely summer project, and I was quite excited to have something that I can be wearing in spring or summer, but it is in gorgeous autumnal colours. Yeah, my seaming is definitely questionable. As you can see, I will never, ever be confident in my sewing ability. So I think I'm going to take this out and try again. I think this was the 3rd attempt. So I got to the point where I was like, this is as good as it's going to get for now. And it might be something that I come back to eventually, but I definitely want to cast one on in maybe in the same sort of a lightweight merino, or a linen maybe, or an alpaca, but something a bit lightweight, but in a slightly more springy, summery colour. I'm definitely veering towards colours like this at the moment, greys and dirty greens and dirty pinks and things. So yeah, this is Lydia, and I think this should come out pretty soon. Ivy and Autumn, Courtney's got some beautiful patterns, and I do really recommend this. And even as I keep saying new knitter, but I still feel like I am, but as a learning knitter, I was able to create this lacework, which I'm very, very proud of. So if you are a bit nervous about knitting lace, this is a wonderful pattern to get going with, and it will come with the option to knit flat or in the round, so depending on your preference and style. She covers, and also I must say that she covers so many sizes. I think there's about 16 different sizes. So again, if you are, you know, wanting to support designers that cater for everyone, she's another one that does so. Yeah, I guess share a bit more. I haven't done... Yes, I'll show you. Definitely needed this coffee, eh? So as I said, I work for King Fibre at the moment, and I'm not trying to, I always say this, but I'm not trying to promote or put my work's values here. This is just me saying what I've been doing. So I helped design a pattern, which feels very strange to say, for a pair of slippers which we have released for Mother's Day, and we've released as kits, but that's neither here nor there. But the pattern is free on Ravelry, and I do think they're quite cute. So they are these little slippers. I've actually put little pom-poms on them. I did that this morning. just because it's a little bit more wearable. The size of the pom-poms that we photographed, which I'll try and put a picture up, were ginormous. As you can see, there's quite a size difference in that. So I whipped these up just before filming this morning, and they are knitted up in the big merino chunky, and they are very squishy. And this is the Cactus colourway and Biscuit. I mean, Biscuit is a gorgeous colour, isn't it? I'm a real sucker for it. I think they're lovely. So yeah, they actually took 2 hours to knit. So if you are after a pattern for some chunky yarn that you might have lying around, I do recommend checking out our little pattern. But then yesterday, while I was there, we decided that we actually needed a couple more. We had already tested it a couple of times, other people in the studio, but we just needed a few more for some pictures. So I also started these yesterday while I was there, and finished the pom-poms and finishing this morning. So I think these are really, really fun. Slightly more, I don't know, I think these are really sort of 80s, 90s ski lodgy. Well, not ski lodge, but like skiing. Can you see? They've got a garter bottom, and they are very, very simple to make. And again, I did little pom-poms because, I mean, it's so much more wearable. And I've only tied them in a bow so they can be taken off in case, you know, in case you don't want to wear them with pom-pom on forever. This colour is, what colour were you? I can't remember for some reason. The teal is NASSAU, and I can't really remember. I think I'm zoning out. So yeah, 2 pairs of slippers, 4 hours of work. Pretty happy. Yeah. They only take a skein of each. So if you do have scraps left of chunky, sort of 150 grams is all you need really for a pair. I still have, I can show you what I've got left of. A skein of the skeins that I use, so I've got quite a bit. I could have done huge pom-poms and little pom-poms, or a mix, and I could have made them bigger, but I already have quite large feet, which I won't bore you, but my feet grew quite a bit in the last couple of years, strangely enough. So I just had to quickly reset, just because if I film for too long, I think it's about 20 minutes, my camera goes, no more, and then it's, you know, have to do it all again. And I thought it'd be nice to have little Audrey in. Oh hey, what are you doing? Actually, that takes me on to quite a nice next thing. So when I first started, or a few podcasts back, a lovely lady called Leslie sent me a lovely message saying next time I was up in Newcastle we should go into a knitting group, and we connected on Instagram a little bit, and I didn't realise that she made project bags, and for so long I've been meaning to get something or specify a tote bag for Monica's jumper. I'll show you quickly the progress that I've had on that. It's not very much, so I'm just part of the way through another chart. That's all I'm going to say. It's the Rambling Woman in Jacob DK and Croft by West Yorkshire Spinners, and I really love this project, but it's not coming on nearly as quickly just because I've had so much to do knitting wise from working, and yeah, so I decided to purchase a bag from Leslie, and I'm so pleased I did. Here it is. It's such a great size. It's quite big. I mean, I don't have all the yarn in here, but I've got the pattern, the project, and 4 cakes of yarn in the bottom. It's lined beautifully. The cord is tough. Like, well, I say tough. It's got give in it, but it's gonna last, that's for sure. And she's got this gorgeous little tag. Little ducklings on it and her logo. Hey. And I just really like the pattern. It's got teal, it's got mustard. I say teal, it's like a baby aqua, which is what I seem to be drawn to, and grey. And it feels lovely. And it actually came with a matching little notions pouch, which is an amazing size. I fit stitch holders, crochet hooks, my very handy knitting light, so when I've been on little work adventures I can hook it in. It's meant for book reading. Hook it into my top or onto my project bag and be able to see what I'm doing. So this is perfect, and I'm very lucky that I'm happy that Monica's jumper finally has a home to live in and is a lot more cared for than the cardboard box. Because this project means quite a bit. Oh yeah, look. It's like everything matches. Strange. Oh, sorry Audrey. Hey. And yeah, so when I got that in the post, she was very kind, and I'll insert a little bit of footage, but not only did me and Alex get given some tea and some little chocolate, Audrey got some treats, and she got a beautiful little card from from Leslie Graham and her cat Stanley. And Audrey, even now, is very grateful. She's been very good at not helping herself to the dreamies. Here's to Audrey from Stanley Cat. Oh, are you happy? Oh, there you go. You gonna say hello to Stanley? But yeah, it's so nice and such a treat to be welcomed in that way. So thank you, Leslie, and if you are interested, I'm not trying to advertise, I'm just sharing that I really enjoyed receiving and using my Duckpool Lane bags, and they are on Etsy. I think she's got a few left, but yeah, maybe have a look if you'd like. And then my final project is one that I shared on the live video that I did on Sunday, that initially had a few technical problems, but let me put your head back in it, little lady. Figured it out. It was really fun. I think I organised it for a different time than I was going to do, but it was really nice. I fangirled a little bit because the lovely tailor joined in, and it was people from all across the world, which made me smile so much. And I shared my adventures in crochet a bit, which was quite fun because otherwise I don't think I'd have ever got around to doing that. yeah, so the project that I shared, I'll talk a bit more about, is something that I've been making up myself, which is, you know, maybe a good idea, maybe not, but I really wanted to replace, I've got quite a few cardigans that have seen way too much wear, or, you know, kind of don't fit in the right way. So I wanted a really, really simple cardigan, basically. So I'm doing a raglan cardigan. Sorry, it's on cables. I'm going to show you this half. There you go. So I've split the body off now, because I'm not explaining this very well at all, but it's very simple. It's a top-down raglan cardigan. I'm not trying not to have any seams. I've already knitted quite a bit at the front and the back and split for the sleeves. What I have done is I stopped when I ran out of the first skein, and I've divided the next skein into two for the sleeves, and so far you can't tell, so I'm hoping that each sleeve will be about half a skein, and then I'll have one more skein for the body, for the rest of the body. And I'm knitting it up in yarn that I've dyed, which is, this is just a non-superwash merino in a very, very dusky pink, and I'm holding it with this gorgeous yarn called NUMBUS, which is from TRISKELION yarns, based in Wales. It's 75% Suri alpaca and 25% mulberry silk, and it's quite a bit lighter than the Suri that I used before, in that it's about 300 meters versus 170 meters per 50 grams. And this is their ash rose colourway. Yeah, quite like the combination, and this feels really, I mean, of course it feels lovely. It's really, really soft, and I love the fabric that it's creating. It feels like something that's already been pre-loved before, if that makes sense. You know, when you put on a, I don't know, a family member's jumper, do you do that? And it's kind of got sustenance and a life in it. This is how this feels already. So I'm a little bit torn. I've got to a point where I've done a little bit of decreasing on the sleeve, and I think I might carry on straight, but I'm not sure if I should go all the way straight down and maybe do a garter cuff, or let it just like the top roll, or if I should maybe let it be straight and then do a gathered bind off, or a gathered bind off with, or just gather it with a little bit of ribbing. I'm not sure. Is anyone, any suggestions are very, very welcome here, because I'd quite like to, I want it to be really, really plain, so I was thinking rolled stockinette would be gorgeous, but maybe I'd need to do a row, a couple of rows of garter, or maybe a basket weave stitch to stop it, is it basket stitch to stop it curling over. Any design suggestions? Yeah, I can actually get this on even though the cable's on, only half, but I quite like the way that it sits at the moment. So it comes across and it sits neatly, and I don't think I'm going to put any buttons on it. I might, if I've got enough yarn, do a belt, but maybe, yeah, talking out loud, but obviously I'm talking out loud. That would be very strange to sit and podcast without talking out loud, but yeah, I think that's the best way for me to do it. I've put markers and things in places so that I can remember what I've done, just in case I like it and I want to write it down. I've been writing a bit when I've been going to the numbers, but I'm just going to check that it all adds up. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this is coming along so far, and it's just been the thing that I'm knitting on when I want something mindless that's not lace work or work related. But yeah, I don't know what to call that. It doesn't have a pattern. It's just, it is what it is. Maybe that will be what they call it. It is what it is cardigan. Yeah, I think that's all. I will put in a little bit of footage from the other art fair, which was a really, really nice event. Oh, actually, I'll just show you while I'm here. So I don't think I got much footage of it, but when I was at the other art fair, we were very, very busy very busy. I think I was averaging 3 drinks a minute, which when it takes 25 to 28 seconds to pull a shot, it was busy. I was using all 2 machines, and but it's nice. The second day was a lot more relaxing, even though we were a bit busier. But the lovely next door neighbours to us were called Island Poke, spelled like this, and they were kind enough. I offered all of their staff coffee throughout when I could get a moment to make them, because I mean, when you're working hard, it's nice to be hydrated or fed, and in return they were very kind and fed me. And I was so taken back. I have very much been into street food growing up. I was quite a part of the street food scene, I guess, when I was serving from my Morris Minor. So I'd eaten my way around a lot of the London eateries, so to speak, and that was the first time in probably 2 years that I'd been sort of taken away and taken aback by some food, which was a wonderful feeling. And the best part was that it was so simple, and I was given it to enjoy while I was really needing the energy and I couldn't get away to get some other food. So it was perfect. But the next day I went in and I was like, guys, do you have a copy of this book I can buy? And she was like, you looked after us, just take it. So I got given this. Obviously I made them more coffee as a thank you, and it was before we started serving, so they got better coffee that morning. But it's a really, really gorgeous book. I won't bore you with my dietary habits, but I am pretty much a vegetarian. That's all I'll say, but there is a lot of very good recipes in here that could be turned veggie, very simple. But this sticky aubergine poke I adjusted just because I do avoid sugar and I don't see why it needed it, but this was absolutely divine, and I've been making that for my lunches. And right now I am enjoying, what are they called? Let's just check. Yeah, blueberry banana porridge squares. I don't know if you can get the recipe online. Mine don't look like that because, once again, I am a nightmare. But I put coconut on mine because I didn't have as many pecans, and they are absolutely divine. They don't have any refined sugar, they don't have any flour, make a really, really good on the go snack. So yeah, I will leave it there for this week. And hope to see you again in 2 weeks' time. It's been really, really lovely connecting, and I'm so grateful to get to know some of you and to be taught by some of you and to pass on the information that I know. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful platform, and yeah, just a lot of good things. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely week whatever you do. Be it knitting, crafting, sewing, you know, anything. Yeah, hope to see you very soon. Take care. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Where's your 200?